Well, hello, my little artists. My name is Miss Cat with Comic Kids, and today we are going to be doing a really cool drawing that I am so excited about because I love horses, and if you're doing this drawing, you probably do too. That's right, we're going to be drawing Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony. So you're going to need a paper, pencil, and something to color with, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
Teaching kids art through comics, cartoons, and books. Comic Kids.
Okay, my friends, we are going to get started drawing Pinkie Pie. So I want you to find the center of your paper. This is where I'm going to be doing my drawing. And I want to show you some of the colors I'm going to be using later. Our pony is going to be colored a light pink color. Her mane and tail is going to be a dark pink, kind of like a fuchsia. Her eyes are going to be blue. And then we're going to have a little bit of black accents in these really long eyelashes that she has. So I'm going to go ahead and find the center of my paper and I'm going to get started drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the letter U. This is going to be our pony's face. So right in here, I'm just going to draw a letter U, just like this. Very good. And after that, I'm going to start by drawing one of her ears. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to draw a curvy line like this and attach it to the top of that U. You see how that line goes out just a little? That is one of her ears, or at least the beginning of it. Very good, friends. And then the second part of her ear is right here. I'm going to come down. And so I've created a little bit of a point there. I'm going to come down. You should have some space, and you want this line to be higher than that line. Very good, friends. I'm going to draw a little bit of a curved line right here. Let me show you where. This is the beginning of the top of her head. But I want to leave most of this blank because we're going to put something called a forelock in here, and I'll explain what that is on a horse a little bit later. So we've got the top of our head. And I'm just going to show a little bit of an ear over here. So let me just do a little bit of a curvy line and then leave it alone. So this entire area should be left blank for our pony's forelock. Very good. So we're going to go ahead and get right in the middle of her face and we're going to draw her eyes. Now she has these big, beautiful blue eyes. It is actually really not common for horses to have blue eyes. Their most common color eye is brown, but this is a My Little Pony and she has blue eyes. So I'm going to come over here on either side and I'm going to do two big ovals. Very good. I'm going to do one like this. I mean, they are very big. I've got one oval over here and then I'm going to do another one on this side. When I am drawing the same thing on one side as I am on the other side and it looks the same, there is a fancy word for that, and that word is symmetrical. So when it's the same on both sides, it's symmetrical. So we should have two ovals for her eyes. Inside of this, we are going to do another portion of an oval like that. This is the pupil. In our eyes, we have a pupil as well. It is the dark part of our eye, the little black spot in the center. So I've got a pupil on one side and a pupil on the other, and you see that they're kind of on the inside of these ovals. Very good, friends. I'm actually going to thicken this line up. I'm going to be coloring this in black later, so I'm going to leave it a little bit thicker for now. Very good. And then the blue part of her eye we're going to show on the outside. So you should have the pupil now. Now we're going to draw something called the iris. The iris is the colored part of the eye. So this pony has a blue iris. You see what I did? I did one line, one more line that comes around, and I'm going to do another one around the pupil and back in. Awesome. Good job, friends. Now, one of the things I love to do to make my characters' eyes look really cool is leaving something called a shiny bubble inside of them. So this is going to be the area when we color our pony later, we're not going to color it in. I'm going to do a bubble. Do you see what I just did? Another little curvy oval in there, right up there. I'm going to leave that part white. And I'm gonna do the same on this side. So you should have two things that look kind of like circles right there. This whole thing is gonna be colored in black later, this first one, but we're gonna leave that one white. Very good, my friends. Okay, now Miss Pinkie Pie has some seriously long eyelashes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to the top of her eyes and I'm gonna make that line a little bit thicker. I'm using a black marker right now. You might wanna do this with a black marker or crayon or colored pencil later, but I just made it a little bit thicker and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Very good. So I made it a little thicker at the top because I'm gonna give her some fancy eyelashes. Very good. So I've got two thicker lines and now the eyelashes. I'm gonna do 1, 2, and 3 eyelashes on that one side. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did here. I'm gonna do 3 long eyelashes here. So I got 1, 2, and 3. Fabulous, look at those big, beautiful eyelashes. Let's go ahead and give her some little eyelashes over here. I'm gonna do 1, 2, and a 3. Right down there. You see I attached them to that eye. I'm going to do the same thing here. 1, 2, and 3. Remember that fancy word I said earlier, symmetrical. That means it's the same on both sides. Good job, my friends. Okay, now real horses have very big nostrils. Those are the holes that we breathe out of in our nose. But this little pony has tiny little nostrils. So I'm going to go ahead and give her these 2 little dots right there. Boop and boop. Those are her 2 little nostrils. That's the beginning of her nose. And then the top, a little U right on top of that, is the top of her nose. And we are done drawing her nose. So it's 2 little dots and a little upside down U. And I'm gonna give Miss Pinkie Pie a really cute little smile in here. I'm gonna go down, kind of the combination of a V and a U. And I did 1 line like this, and I'm gonna go on top of that, and I'm gonna do a 2nd line, so her mouth looks like it's open. You see what I just did? Good job, friends. Okay, we are ready to start drawing her body. So I'm gonna come right down here, and I'm gonna be drawing her facing forward. So we're gonna see her neck, her chest, and her legs from the front. All right, so let's start with her neck. On this side, I'm gonna do 1 little line like that. And on the other side, I'm going to do another line like this. So horses have much longer necks than people do. So we're only seeing it though from the front, so we can't actually tell how long it is. But we've got 2 little lines. Now I want to draw a little bit of her belly. So we're going to kind of be seeing her from the front. So we're going to see her belly stick out a little bit on each side. We're going to see her body. So I'm going to come up here and do a little bit of a curvy line like this. That is her body and a little bit of her belly. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Remember that word I keep saying, symmetrical, the same on both sides. Good job, friends. Very good. So we've got a neck and her body. Excellent. You should have a little space right in here. And I want you to find the middle point between there and do a little bit of a letter U. Just like that. Do you see what I just did? A little bit of a U. But notice I've got a little bit of white on either side. That U is her chest. And fun fact, when you touch a horse right here, you can feel their heartbeat because that's where their heart is. So I've got a little bit of a U and I'm going to go straight down. I'm going to make her look like a cake pop for a second. Yummy. Cake pops are delicious. Very good. So she kind of looks like a cake pop right now. That's because that's the beginning of how I'm going to draw her legs. Okay, friends, so Pinkie Pie's feet, horse feet are actually called hooves. Her hooves are wider at the bottom than they are at the top. So her legs get thin up here and then they get wider as they go. So I'm going to find where I drew her belly right here, and I'm going to draw a line that goes like this. And it's coming out a little bit wider. So I want to show you real quick. You see how there's a little bit of space there, but then more space down there? That's because it gets wider at the bottom. So that's one of her legs. You're going to draw it at an angle. And then the second one, I'm going to do the same thing. On this side, same symmetrical. That is the word of the day. Very good, friends. So we've got these lines kind of come towards her chest. Awesome. And then to finish off our little pony's hooves, all we're gonna do is a curvy line like this. Right there. And then another curvy line like that. Awesome. And she has got legs and a body. Good job, friends. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show a little bit of one side of her body. So I'm gonna do a little bit more of her body and then one more leg here before we get into drawing her mane, which is the hair up here, and her tail. So I want you to come up to this space where the neck is, and you're gonna do a curvy line that comes around and stops right around here. Let me show you. Let's come up here, and I'm doing another curvy line like this. And I'm gonna stop right here. Very good. Okay, everyone, we are gonna get into drawing the mane and tail. So the mane and tail are these long pieces of hair that grow off the horse's neck and also off their tail. So kind of a fun fact about horses' manes, they can't feel it. When you pull this hair, they don't have the same nerves that humans have when you pull their hair. So if you tug on a horse's mane, this long hair, they don't really feel it as much. So we're gonna get into starting to draw the mane and tail. Right up in here, you should have a blank spot. That is where we're gonna draw something called the forelock. The forelock is this little patch of hair that grows between horses' ears, and it kind of looks like bangs. So I'm gonna go ahead and start giving her a fancy forelock. This is the shape that I did right here to start doing that fancy hair. I did a backwards letter C and I touched it right there on her head. That's the beginning of her forelock. I'm then gonna start curving this around and giving her kind of like some curly hair. Now, horses really don't have curly hair. Most of the time, their manes and tails are actually pretty straight. But she is a fancy pony, so she has fancy eyelashes and very fancy hair. So I did this big curve, and then I'm gonna come back here and curve it around again. So watch what I'm doing. Just giving her a big, fancy forelock and fancy hair. All right, so check out what I did. I've got this curve, that curve, and another one. This is her fancy forelock. And what I need to do is I need to finish this piece up. So I'm gonna kind of come in a little bit, curve it up into a point, and make a hook. You see that? Kind of looks almost like Maui's hook from Moana. You see that? There we have it. There's a fancy forelock right there. Okay, friends. I want to do a little detail in her ear, just one little line like that. That's just showing that that's the inside of her ear. And I'm going to find this original ear that I did over here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a line in there just to show that that's where her ear is. Wonderful. Now let's get to drawing her mane. The mane is the hair that grows on a horse's neck. And so I'm going to come up here once again. Our little pony has a very fancy curly mane. So I'm gonna start layering some little bumps here. That's my first one I'm gonna do, a little one. And then I'm gonna come and I'm gonna do a bigger bump here. This is her fancy hair. Very good, friends. Now, a horse or a pony's mane usually will fall to one side of their neck or the other. So on this pony, her mane is gonna be over here. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna start doing a couple bumps once again to give her that kind of beautiful, curly, fancy mane. And I'm just gonna do some bumps like this. I'm gonna bump out, bump again, and then get a little bit smaller as I go to look at this big hair. Wow, she's a fancy pony. All right, I got bump number 1, bump number 2, and bump number 3. Awesome. Now you see how I did this little curvy hook over here? I'm gonna do something similar over here. So I'm gonna kind of hook her mane up like this to start to do a little curve. And then I'm gonna come back around like this. And once again, I'm gonna start doing the bumps. Now your mane is gonna look a little different than mine, and that is fine. So I've got a hook and I'm gonna start doing some bumps that go out, maybe another one like this. And there is the fanciest pony hair we ever did see. Good job. Okay, over on this side is where we're gonna start to show her tail. It's gonna be really similar to what we did here with her mane. So I'm gonna come over to this side of my pony's body, and then I'm gonna do some bumps and some curves. So right up here, I'm gonna kind of just start doing her tail. I'm gonna come over and once again, I'm gonna do some big bumps and some little bumps. Don't forget, yours is gonna look different than mine, and that is okay. I'm gonna do some smaller ones over here. And then I'm gonna do that same hook. I did one here and I did one here. I'm gonna do another hook right here. I'm gonna go up and back on over. Very good. Then I just need to kind of find my way back to the body. So I'm gonna do some bumps. I'm gonna do some more bumps, bumpity-boo. And there you have it. That is a fancy ponytail. Okay, my friends, the last detail I'm gonna do in here is I'm gonna add just a couple lines inside the tail and inside the mane before I start coloring my character. So I'm just gonna come over here and just do a couple little lines in here. Just like that. Very good. And maybe a little curly Q right there. Very good. And I'm gonna do something similar here. I'm gonna just do some kind of zigzaggy lines. You don't have to do this. I just kind of wanted to show that our pony has some kind of curly hair. So I'll come up here and do some little bumps here as well. Awesome, very good, friends. And maybe another one over here. So remember, yours is gonna look different than mine. Great job. Okay, we are done drawing our My Little Pony Pinkie Pie, and she is as cute as can be. I'm gonna go ahead and start coloring mine, and you are gonna color on your own, but you'll be able to watch me color quickly. And I'm going to be using, remember, light pink, dark pink for the mane and tail, and blue for the iris. And don't forget, this little spot we did in there, we're gonna leave that white. And there we have it, my friends, the cutest little Pinkie Pie you ever did see. I loved drawing with you today. Okay, my little artists, I had so much fun drawing Pinkie Pie with you today. I hope you guys had a great time, and I'm sure you did an absolutely wonderful job on your drawing. I can't wait to see you soon. Comic Kids is a nonprofit helping children in the community learn art through comics, cartoons, and books. To learn more, see our website at comickids.org and follow us on Instagram. For more videos like these, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.